Hey everyone, this is Hill Street Soul, and you're tuned in to The Core with the Millennial Coach, discussing topics on real life. Check it out. Everywhere you go, don't forget the ghetto. Listen to The Core.
What up, people? It's the Millennial Coach. Welcome to The Core. And I told you last week, I'm going to be in Paris this week, where I am. As you can see, I'm not lying. That is not an apartment in central London. I'm just saying across there. That's not central London, that's Paris. But today we're talking about how to be happily single. Happily single is a term I use in my life. And happily single is what I'm doing right now. You don't have to do the most to be happy. Getting up at midday, I heard the clock earlier, and having breakfast. I made myself a nice breakfast, and now I'm gonna head to the Louvre. I'm not going into the museum because the last time I went there, literally had heat stroke. The amount of steps in the Louvre that you have to walk to get into part of exhibitions, it was too much. There was a day that I was like, you know what? Let me just go about my business because I'm tired. And I don't know where she is, meaning the Mona Lisa. I ain't got a clue where she's hiding, so I'm not going to even try and look. But being happily single is being yourself. So I am the Millennial Coach. Welcome to The Core. If it's the first time that you've joined today's show, welcome. And if you haven't been here before, thank you for coming. This is me in the most unfiltered look. My hair's all up. I've just come out the shower. I've wrapped it. I don't know what's going on. Did you hear that noise? It's just me in the apartment, so I'm hoping there's no ghosts. And it's a show about all things leadership, but self-development as well. Because if you're going to lead in your business, lead in your life, you need to be happy with yourself. And a lot of people, to be really honest, they're not happy with themselves. They're not happy with their life. They're not even grateful for what they have. So I want to transition that and just be happy in the space that you're in. Like, it's been such a beautiful experience being in Paris. The amount of cakes I've eaten. Honestly, I started to feel sick yesterday, so I had to stop. So why do I sneak out when my friend's not looking? Then I go and have these things called chew, and they've got vanilla chantilly cream inside. That's the breakfast coming up. The vanilla chantilly cream inside, and there's like 6 of them. It's about that big, really small, and they're so good. They're so good, and I've had them I'll sit outside to have a coffee, and just have a good time. So I'm just saying, being happily single is a gift. So I do want to talk about, there was a happiness poll that was done by IPSOS. And I'm not going to try and pronounce it. If it's IPSOS, maybe that's it. But people around the world, so I'm going to give you some statistics on happiness. Australia, and I'm not going to talk about extremely happy, because I think if you're going to always be extremely happy, you're either taking crack cocaine or you're on amphetamines. You're taking something that I'm not familiar with. So there's no one that can permanently be very happy. That's just not possible unless, as I said, you are on substances I'm unfamiliar with. However, let's just look at Australia. 58% of people are happy. That's really, really impressive. Over half the population in Australia of who were acknowledged on this study. So obviously they didn't get every Australian. So if we say they took, I don't know, half the population, if half of the population is happy, then I'm happy. And then Canada, okay, you've done really well at 57%. So Canada, 57%. China, 70% people are happy. What's going on in China? I don't know what I need to do differently, but if you're going to be happy in China, I'm moving to China, okay? And then in comparison to that, 16% are not that happy. So I think China's doing pretty well. So if anyone wants to emigrate to China, I'm not sure if they've got what the immigration laws are, but if you do want to emigrate to China, let me know, then I'll meet you there, yeah? Okay, so Great Britain, 55% are happy. I think they must have only did about 9 people in Great Britain, because the amount of people that are miserable in the UK, it doesn't equate to 55, but over half the population is happy. I'm really not sure that this is correct. Let's compare that to the people that are unhappy. Hold on. 15%. Okay, and the people that are really happy in the UK is 27%. I think they're the ones living in Belgravia and Mayfair, because they're the ones that are loaded and happy. So, okay, I will take the 27% as real, as extremely happy, not on substances, maybe some, but I would say majority not on substances. 27% in people in the UK are extremely happy. I don't know, for some reason I think that's true, but 55% of people that are just happy, I'm not sure, because I'm just not sure. And the reason I'm saying that, if you remember last week, I did the show on toxic workplaces. That wasn't just about the UK, that was internationally companies I've worked for. But majority of people that I work with in the UK have been in companies. When I've worked full time in companies, you will get really nice people, like every organization. But when you get the ones that you just want to literally smother with a pillow, right? Okay, I don't mean literally, but you know what I mean. Those ones that you just want to meet them behind the bike sheds and have a little quiet conversation with them. There's too many of them. So I'm just like, and I think they outweigh the number of nice people in the workplace. So I don't know about that 55%, but let's keep it moving. So the next, France, 65% of people are happy in France. Okay, well, as I've been here for more than a week, or almost a week, sorry, not more than a week. I changed my ticket. Long story, but I changed my ticket. People in France are happy. From my experience to date, I would say actually everyone I've observed and encountered, I would say France is a country where there's the rush hour, people are, they look sour-faced on the metro. Let's be real, France, right? You people, Paris, you look very miserable on the metro. However, if you ask someone from Paris a question, they're so happy to help. I can't stress that enough. So, but the only 2 things that bother me about Paris that I know of, well, there's a few things that bother me about Paris, is Oprah and Serena Williams were both denied at different stores purchasing an expensive product because of their race. Now, France has an issue with race, and I'm not just saying that. I know people that are experiencing it living here in the workplace, where you're not promoted, you're not being respected, and you don't happen to be white. So maybe, I don't know who's happy in France, but the people I've experienced have been happy. But there is, like the UK, like America, like most of the Western world, there is an issue when it comes to racism. So I don't know if this study, and this is important to acknowledge, if a study has only acknowledged a certain race of people to answer questions, then is the study valid that represents the country? So these are questions that we always have to ask when we're looking at studies. Who were asked the questions? Who were the focus points in the study? If we're not aware of that, does that validate the happiness of what I'm reporting from this happiness study? But for the sake of argument, we're going to assume that there was a majority of different nationalities asked the question on happiness. But my point today is, happiness is an inside-out job. You can't be happy from the outside, and that's acquiring things, focusing on how you look, and how much you earn. That does not build happiness. It may be a symptom of happiness, because what you attract is what you are. So if you are joyful, you are spirited, you are loving, you tend to attract those experiences. And Although I spoke about toxic in companies and employees, I'm not going to lie to you. I have had some of the nicest people that I still am in contact with, have dinners with, have WhatsApp calls because they may be international. I still have phone calls and relationships with these people 10, 15 years later. So what I'm saying is you will attract, I always attract very, very, very kind-hearted, hypersensitive and spirited individuals. And the thing is, as I say, it's across the spectrum, but no one's really, spiritually they're intact, financially they're intact, emotionally they're intact. Some of them have similar battles like I do, female, black, etc. But in the essence of everyone I attract, there is a joy that we share. So being happily single, you make choices that are your own. You're not basing your choices on how other people think you should be or how other people think you should show up. I don't have to do anything. And this is the thing, when people are single, they're complaining that they're single. Stop complaining that you're single. You can turn to the left, there's nobody disturbing you in the bed. You turn to the right, there's nobody begging you that they're hungry. You don't have to worry about children. You don't have to worry about a man or a woman. Depends on your gender and if you're in same-sex relationships. But if you're single, look for the grace that is in your life. I just picked up and decided to change the dates of my trip to Paris. I didn't have to consult anybody. So if you are single and you are waiting for that beautiful human being to enter into your life, and they will come, even when that happens, remember these times where you poured into yourself. You have the space to develop your mind. You have the space to let go of negativity. You have the space to be grateful for abundance. You have the space to live in your space. Live is the operative word here. Meaning, you can do the things that you've always dreamed of doing. You can sit and not be disrupted and read a book. You can go and come as you please. You can have the longest 2-day weekend lie-in ever without being disrupted. Being single is not a death sentence. I don't understand why people think that. And so if you want to look busted, and I don't think I look that busted, but I'm just saying, like, if you're not feeling your best and you're one of these people that get into a relationship, which I think is sad when you always want to look your best for the person and not for yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because in every relationship, you're going to look good and you're going to look busted. And the person has to love you irrespective of how you look. You're going to put on weight. Some of you are going to lose weight. How the person met you is not how the person's going to see you in the next 10 years. Life changes you. So as you are growing in your spirit, in yourself, enjoy being single. Go on holidays, take yourself to dinner, go for long walks, exercise, take care of your health. If you want to, go out tonight, even if it's a Monday night, and you want to party until Tuesday morning, that's your prerogative. You have nobody to worry about but yourself. So happiness is an inside-out job. It's about what makes you happy, what makes you tick, what brings you joy. Have you ever asked yourself, what brings you joy even in the morning? Today I woke up and I was like, I'm supposed to be on a virtual conference today, and it was meant to be in Dubai. And they've changed it. And I never heard anything back. I've not got any emails, nothing. So I was thinking I'm going to just check in. And they want to transfer it to either, so they've moved the dates in the Dubai online conference to November. And also they want to do it in Paris. So I've changed it to the Paris one that I can be face to face. Jump on a Eurostar. Remember, Eurostar's only 7 minutes from my house. Jump on a Eurostar and then come to Paris for a couple of days. And so these are the things that you do when you're single. You start creating memories that you look forward to. As I said, I've had the most wonderful experience with such a beautiful friend of mine. When I mean beautiful, she genuinely is. We equate her, she's been equated to the Dalai Lama because of her energy, her spirit. And as I said, I attract very sensitive people, and I've realized that. So when people are aggressive or not very nice, They don't last long in my life because I'm not that way unless you force me to be that way. So you know when someone wants to test you, I'm always like, you can try, but what's going to happen? I'm going to rip your head off. And so it's very important to know yourself in your singleness, because you need to understand what triggers you, and you need to also understand how to communicate things that you don't like. When we're in relationships, sometimes we start acting different because we don't want to upset somebody. Being single at a certain age, you've got to start just living in your truth, facing yourself. And I'm telling you now, transformation for anybody that is transforming in their lives, it's not easy. It's actually quite painful at the best of times. So I hope that being single for you, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter, as The Rock would say. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. You need to just live how you want to live. And you will make whatever adjustments, amendments when you meet the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. But while you are in the process of healing, loving on yourself, exploring the world, learn. All I'm saying to you, and I'm not dissing anyone, right? But all I'm saying to you all is be naked in your singleness. Because when you get coupled up, you need to be comfortable enough to still be naked. And that vulnerability is going to allow the other person to be vulnerable. So be happily single in a way that really allows you to exude your true inner self, because that is what is going to bring you someone who's just as true. So I am the Millennial Coach. I'm happily single in Paris, and I thank you for spending time with me. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You need to help me. I'm a child of immigrants. We are still, trying to get to, this is what my first generation. So please, let's get second generation out, and I need your support. So I need you to share this with your friends. And those of you that are single, if you've got any questions, please email me at themillennialcoach@gmail.com. I'm happy to answer any questions. But also, you got time, people. You got time. And the reason being happy and single is important, because when you heal the wounds of your past, it could be with workplaces, it could be with exes, it could be with parents, it could be with siblings. Any kind of trauma you're able to heal, do you know how happy it makes you? But the other thing I would definitely say is change location. Sometimes you need to be out of the environment that's hurt you. And it could be the country, and go somewhere else like I have. Make the most of being alive, because this is a phenomenal experience. Not everyone is afforded a year upon last year. And what I mean by that, living is a gift. I am the Millennial Coach. You've been watching The Core. And I'm in Paris. Adios. And I'll see you. I'll still be in Paris to do the rest of the episodes, but I'll see you on the next one. Bye.